If you have the ability to create wealth, then you have the responsibility to create wealth. Now, that may sound bold, maybe even greedy. Yet, what if making money was actually the most loving and compassionate thing that we could do? In 2015, I was sitting at our kitchen table when my son Shane called with a voice I'll never forget. "Mom, I need help." His wife Renee had been battling stage 4 cancer for over 4 years, well past her prognosis, at a cost of nearly $300,000. And now her daughter's wedding was approaching, and it looked as though she may not live long enough to see it. Shane had found a clinic that just might extend her life long enough. And then he asked for a cashier's check for $35,000 by tomorrow. What would you do? How would you feel? What would you think? Well, that moment hit me in the gut. Money isn't just about wealth. It's about life when it matters most. Years earlier, when I started my real estate career, I couldn't afford a babysitter. So I put my kids in a little red wagon and went door to door. No leads, just grit. Eventually, I started my own real estate agency. I grew it to multiple locations, and I started a property management division. And that's when I made one critical mistake. I was so focused on future income, I neglected to watch the money we'd already made. I turned over the books and the property management division to a friend who needed a job, and, well, I trusted her. While I was out growing the business, she was quietly siphoning rent checks, mortgage payments unpaid. Homeowners were still receiving those fake "everything's fine" notifications. I was blind to it all until one morning I woke up responsible for 216 unpaid mortgage payments. I sat on the floor. My heart was racing. I could hardly even breathe. As a single parent, I felt like I was letting my children down. Fear didn't just knock on the door, it moved in. And a few nights later, it got even worse. I had driven to a board meeting with 3 other board members that carpooled with me. After the meeting, we walked out and, well, we couldn't find my car. A policeman informed me in public, "Ma'am, your car was not stolen, it was repossessed." Word spread like wildfire, and the big joke was, hey, don't ride with Diana unless you like hitchhiking. I can't tell you how embarrassed I was. At that point, I had no savings, no safety net, and my credit cards were maxed out. That was my rock bottom moment. After a while, I realized I'd been living in a victim role of my own life. And when I stepped out of that role and took responsibility, I started my hero's journey. I picked up the phone, I called every homeowner, and I owned my mistakes. I did cry, and I negotiated with the banks, and I begged the banks to spare the homeowners credit. I didn't take out bankruptcy. I did sell my businesses. I sold some of my belongings, and I went back to selling real estate. And eventually, I paid it all back. I'm telling you, that taught me what no business school ever could. You can have passion, yet by itself, it's not going to pay your bills. And purpose will give you direction, yet by itself, it won't clear your debt. And prayer, while powerful, won't make up for poor financial management. We need more. The late nights, the anxiety, the humiliation, my children going without, it all led me to this. You can only lift others up when you earn more. And the more you earn, the more positive impact you can make. The world suffers when you're broke. Those were defining moments for me that led to many hard-earned and immensely valuable lessons. One such lesson was to visit my money often, and I've done that almost every week since then. That lesson served me well when I became the CEO of Keller Williams Realty International's coaching and training division. Oh, we went from losing $1 million a year to producing $500 million in 12 years. The president of the company used to say, "Nobody watches the money like you do, Diana." And she was right. Watching the money was literally rooted in my love for people and in my commitment to shake free of unhealthy habits and beliefs. See, we've all been programmed with money myths. Money doesn't grow on trees. Rich people are greedy. And oh, honey, we just can't afford that. These beliefs keep us small, and small is not noble, it's expensive. And if we're not careful, we'll live inside a script that we never wrote. So let's begin today by flipping the script. Let's start examining your beliefs around money, because we're taught that money talk is taboo and that needing more is shameful and, oh, we should just figure it all out all by ourselves. And from my perspective, these beliefs hold us back. At Keller Williams, I led, coached, and trained 494 specialized coaches who went on to work with over 200,000 clients. And the biggest difference I noticed between high and low producers was their mindset. And research backs this up by stating mindset is responsible for up to 95% of your success. I've observed over time that wealth isn't just about what we create. It's about what we create, circulate, and catalyze in others. It's not greedy to want more. It's strategic. Because when money moves through you, not just to you, it can become the most influential and inspirational force on earth. Jim Rohn once told me a story. He went to his mentor and told him, "My problem is I don't have any money." And his mentor shrugged his shoulders and said, "Well, Jim, that's not your problem. The problem is your lack of an idea." And I would add that that idea then must lead to action, because when ideas lie dormant, they rob people of opportunity to be hired, to be helped, and to be healed. If you want to grow, surround yourself with people that expand your thinking. Here's an idea. Why not take a successful person out to lunch? Ask great questions, get ideas, change the way they think, and change your mind and your life. Author John Alexandrov didn't have much, yet he invested in one thing: proximity. Oh, he would sit in fancy cafes drinking coffee daily, thinking and talking with people, listening to wealthy people talk about markets and businesses, and then he took big action and he duplicated their success. 28 years ago, I followed in his footsteps. I made it a point to hang out with great people. I stretched my budget to join John Maxwell's inner circle with 13 other people. And I invested in every great event that I could attend. Oh, John became my mentor and my friend, and now I sit on his board of directors, and I've been blessed to travel the world with him and his team, meeting with presidents and prime ministers, bringing value-based education into the schools. See, growth creates income, and income expands our impact. And speaking of impact, let me ask you a few questions. Who are you spending time with? Who are you learning from? And what actions are you implementing from what you learn? Because these are the building blocks to a great foundation. And that's what we need to build in order to impact the world. We have to impact this world through our generosity. And generosity works. The science is overwhelming. Harvard's Michael Norton found that giving to others makes us happier than spending on ourselves. And NIH studies show that giving activates pleasure centers in the brain, lowers our blood pressure, and extends our life expectancy. And Stephen Post of Stony Brook University found that giving helps people with chronic illnesses heal faster. So to me, generosity is good medicine. And the larger your income, the larger your impact. And the World Bank reports that wealth funds long-term solutions, from climate tech to cancer research. Stanford MIT studies found that wealthy entrepreneurs create jobs, sometimes up to 400% more than others. And the Journal of the American Medical Association found that high earners live up to 15 years longer. It seems to me that wealth changes lives, yours and the lives of everyone around you. Yet, let's be clear. Money itself is not the goal. It's a key, a tool, a microphone, a seat at the table. The question isn't, should you make more money? A better question is, what will you do with it once you do? Because impact is loudest when backed by resources. If you can lead, build, solve problems, inspire, or teach, then you can generate wealth. And if you can generate it, then you can steward it. And here are some action steps that you can take that will help you. A, ambition. Stop apologizing for wanting more and allow your ambition to drive you. C, challenge. Choose to be around people that challenge you. T, train. Train yourself and train your mind with intention. I, invest. Invest in yourself and in finding great mentors. O, own. Own your responsibilities and your outcomes. N, now. Take immediate, bold action. Because wealth doesn't show up for the dreamers, it shows up for the doers. And remember, if you have the ability to create wealth, then you have the responsibility to create wealth. And that is the reason that I was able to give Shane that check for $35,000. And yes, Renee did live just long enough to watch her daughter walk down the aisle. And I believe that you have something just as important that you desire to do for someone that you love. Because after all, making money might just be the most loving and compassionate thing that you will ever do. The world needs good and great people with great power. And we've got to be generous because after all, that power in the world starts with you. Thank you.